right here, the dream team.
You'll be 35, your birthday, and you're still playing games. Oh no, and I'm starting to get this feeling that things will never change. Ooh, oh, talk to me any kind of way. Baby, is that what you think? Oh, that I'm just gonna sit right here staring at these walls while you run these streets? I don't think so. Listen, like a photograph, I pictured you and me in this big old house near the country. But then reality punched me, knocked me down to my knees, and now I clearly see that you're not the one for me. I throw both of my hands, 'cause this is all I can stand. I can't be raising no man. Ladies, can you feel me?
Chris and Vince right here, the dream team.
I'm tired of crying over you. I'm wearing 4 pair of shoes. See, I've got issues too. Yeah. Ladies, can you feel me? But then reality punched me, knocked me down to my knees, and now I clearly see that you're not the one for me. I throw both of my hands.
My shawty, my love, my shawty, she got the ball, she got the chain, she got the wall. Me up, 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 me up. Me up, me up, me up, got the wall. Me up, me up, me up.
Yo, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We got them. The motions are here. Let's break it down. This is day 1. We got 4. Tomorrow we have the biggest motion, which is all I'm put together, and they revamp some stuff. First of all, I want to say shout out to everybody that's here with me late night. What's going on? What's going on? How y'all? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for coming over. Don't forget you can hit the super chat at the bottom. I don't got the tip jar, but forget it. You got the super chat and the cash app tonight. We gonna jump right into it. What I'm gonna read today, I'm gonna read the first motion of Lemonade. I'm gonna read the witnesses so far they have, and I'm gonna read what a CBS and all the press wrote to Judge Donnelly. All right, let's get down to it. Y'all go ahead and invite all your friends over here, so they can get a clear understanding of the motions. Because, you know, some people need readers and still can't understand what's going on. So I'm going to say what's up, Dream Team. What up, folks? That's not part of Dream Team. Somebody came in free R. Kelly bullshit motions. What up, whoever you are? G-Joy, hey, Fruit Flavors, Miss Bougie. Miss Lady T. Willie Will. EJ. It's 39. Tammy, hey. 35. 36. Let's get it up to 50. Love yourself. I said, love yourself. Roberta, hey. How are you? MC Outlaw, what's up? Ooh, brain freeze. Nikki M. Brain freeze. Oh my God. I went and got a slushie. Oh my God. So let's go ahead and read this joint. Let's go, because you know people going to go to where the drama's at, so it is what it is. Let's go. Y'all see it? Let's read. United States of America against Roberts v. Kelly. Memorandum of law in support of the government's motion to eliminate, to admit certain uncharged acts. Jacqueline M. Cashless, acting United States Attorney. Elizabeth Geddes, Nadia Shahada, and Maria Cruz Melendez. Table contents, preliminary statement, statement of facts, alleged racketeering acts, bribery related to Jane Doe number 1, Jane Doe number 2, Jane Doe number 3, number 4, 5, and 6. Overview of the government's evidence of the defendant's other acts on page 10. So you got sexual abuse of Jane Doe 1, a minor. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe 7, a minor. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe 8, a minor. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 9, a minor. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 10, a minor. Exposure of Jane Does 11 and 12 to a sexually transmitted disease, 14. Sexually abused to Jane Doe number 13, a minor. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 1, a minor. Unlawful imprisonment of Jane Doe number 14, 16. Threats towards employee 1 and hush payments towards Jane Doe 15. This is easy. Physical and psychological abuse of Jane Doe 16 and Jane Doe 17. Physical and psychological abuse of Jane Doe 18. Threats towards Jane Doe number 6 and others. Threats towards Jane Doe number 19. Bribery of Cook County clerk. The existence of Kelly's prior criminal case in Cook County, Illinois. Kelly's efforts to obtain child pornography. Audio recordings of physical abuse and threats. Argument. Evidence of other acts is admissible to establish the racketeering enterprise and its means and methods. Legal standard analysis. Certain evidence of other acts is directly relevant to and inextricably intertwined with the evidence of the charged crimes. Legal standard analysis. Evidence of the defendant's other acts is also admissible pursuant to Federal Rule of Evidence 404B. Legal standard analysis. The probative value of the other crimes' evidence far outweighs any prejudicial effort. Okay. Evidence of the defendant's sexual assault and other victims is also admissible under Rule 413. Excuse me. Hey, thank you so much, Kiva. The defendant is charged with sexual assault. Evidence of other sexual assaults are admissible under Rule 413. The victims identified in the other acts evidence described above should be permitted to testify using and be referred to by their first name only or pseudonyms at trial. Conclusion. All right, let's go. Preliminary statement. The government respectfully submits this memorandum in support of its motion to eliminate, to admit at trial evidence of certain acts by the defendant, Robert Kelly. Specifically, the government seeks to admit evidence of uncharged I, sexual abuse of minors, I2, unlawful imprisonment, I3, hush payments, I4, use of physical and psychological harm to obtain sexual and other services, 5, threatening conduct, 6, physical abuse, 7, robbery. Demonstrated below, the evidence of these acts is admissible as evidence of the charged racketeering offense. In addition, certain of the evidence of these other acts is directly relevant to and inextricably intertwined with the evidence of the charged crimes, and in the alternative, evidence of these other acts is also admissible under Rules 404B and 413 of the Federal Rules of Evidence. Statement of facts. All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and send these texts out real quick, because we're going to break this down. Hold on. God damn. Hold that thought. Something just happened. I can't catch a break. I'm trying to get it going. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull this up. Something just happened. Whatever it was. Let's see. Boy, we're gonna have a busy weekend, y'all. Okay. The defense just replied. Okay. All of this will be on my Patreon tonight. So if y'all want to go look at it and study it yourself, you can. It will be in my Patreon tonight. All right, man. Okay. So the defense did reply. Let's see. Oh, sugar honey iced tea. Yes, sir. That's what I needed to see. Come on, Canic. Come with it. All right. Statement of facts. Oh, I was supposed to be sending this out. Hold on. Let me send these texts out real quick. Hold on. Got 58. Thank you so much again, Kiva. Hold on. Come on. Mm. 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 Here I come. Hold that thought, y'all. Here I come. All right. All right, that's how we're going to do it. All right. Statement of facts. On June the 20th, 2019, a grand jury in the Eastern District of New York, the EDNY grand jury returned a 5-count indictment charging the defendant, Robert Sylvester Kelly, with racketeering in violation Title 18, United States Code Section 1962C, among other crimes. On July the 10th, 2019, the Eastern District of New York grand jury returned a superseding indictment, adding a forfeiture of allegation. On December the 5th, 2019, the Eastern District of New York grand jury returned a superseding indictment, adding an additional predicate racketeering act to the racketeering offense. On March 12, 2020, the Eastern District of New York grand jury returned a third superseding indictment, the indictment, removing one predicate racketeering act, former racketeering act 8, adding 3 other racketeering acts, and adding 4 substantial counts. Count 1 of the indictment charging racketeering alleges an enterprise consisting of the defendant Robert S. Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, and individuals who served as managers, bodyguards, drivers, personal assistants, and runners for Kelly, as well as members of Kelly's entourage, the enterprise. The indictment further alleges that the enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise, and that the enterprise engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The purposes of the enterprise were to promote R. Kelly's music and the R. Kelly brand, to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal and sexual. Hold on, let me blow this up so that way y'all can see. There we go. Okay. Promoting R. Kelly music and the R. Kelly brand, the members of the enterprise expected to receive financial opportunities and personal benefits, including increased power and status within the enterprise. In connection with the enterprise, Kelly and other members of the enterprise traveled throughout the United States and abroad to perform at concert venues, to promote the R. Kelly brand, and to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly. False. When Kelly attended and performed at concerts and other events, Kelly and or members of the enterprise of Kelly's behalf invited women and girls backstage and to other events following Kelly's live performances. These women and girls were often offered wristbands that signified that they were authorized to attend the event. There, Kelly relied upon members of the enterprise to ensure that only those authorized to attend were allowed at the event, and to manage the flow of women and girls who were directly interacting with Kelly. When Kelly identified a woman or girl who he wished to see again, he either gave his contact information to a woman or girl, or obtained her contact information, or relied upon members of the enterprise to do so. Following these events, Kelly communicated with certain of these women and girls by telephone. That's crazy. Because Rob never really spoke on the phone. Including through the use of traditional telephones. That's a lie. Text messages, okay. iMessages, okay. And FaceTime, okay. I know he had FaceTime people. He rarely talk on the phone. As part of this communication, Kelly often requested that the women and girls provide him with photographs of themselves. Okay. Kelly and other members of the enterprise also arranged for the women and girls to travel to see Kelly on occasion, including at concerts throughout the United States and relevant events. To facilitate their travel, Kelly directed the women and girls to contact a member of the enterprise, who then arranged travel for the women and girls. When the women and girls arrived at the lodging, which is typically selected by a member of the enterprise usually provided them with instructions. In addition, members of the enterprise took steps to ensure that the women and girls did not interact with other women or girls whom Kelly planned to see. Members of the enterprise then arranged for the women and girls to attend his concerts and positioned them such that Kelly could see them during his concerts. Kelly promulgated numerous rules that many of his sexual partners were required to follow, including the following. The women and girls were not permitted to leave their room without receiving permission from Kelly. including to eat or go to the bathroom. False. The women and girls were required to wear baggy clothing when they were not accompanying Kelly to an event or unless otherwise instructed by Kelly. I never seen that. The women and girls were not permitted to look at other men and instead were told to keep their heads down. That's a lie. That sounds like a Larry. That sounds like a Larry narrative. And the women and the girls were required to call Kelly daddy. That's a problem? That's bedroom talk. What the fuck? Among the means and methods by which Kelly and his associates participated in the conduct of the affairs of the enterprise were the following: committing, attempting, and aiding and abetting the commission of crimes and conspiring to commit crimes, including but not limited to engaging in sexual activity with girls under 18 years old. False. Engaging in and facilitating sexual activity without disclosing a sexually transmitted disease Kelly had contracted, producing child pornography, robbery, extorting, coercion, and blackmail. Let's break this down. How do they know that Robert had a sexually transmitted disease? How they don't know that Faith gave it to him and he didn't know? That's going to be hard to prove. Producing child pornography. That's the Michael Avenatti situation. If y'all couldn't tell who it was on the first trial, how the hell you going to tell now years later? Make it make sense. Robbery. You got to prove that Robert sent anybody out to bribe anybody. Extortion. You got to prove that Robert extorted anybody. Coercion. You got to prove that Robbie coerced anybody. Blackmail. You got to prove that Robert did blackmail. But we all know that Don Russell did that joint. So let's read. But let's see what comes out of this. And demanding absolute commitment to Kelly and not tolerating dissent. What's wrong with that? That's a relationship. Obtaining sensitive information about sexual partners and members and associates of the enterprise to maintain control over them. I never seen that. Creating embarrassing and degrading videos. Wow. Creating embarrassing and degrading videos of sexual partners to maintain control over them. I do believe that's another Don Russell situation. Recruiting and grooming sexual partners for Kelly, and isolating women and girls from friends and family and making them dependent on Kelly for their financial well-being. That's not a crime, but he didn't even do that. So what are you talking about? People had free will. Okay. Alleged racketeering acts. The indictment alleges racketeering acts related to 6 women, identified as Jane Doe 1 through Jane Doe 6. In the indictment, the alleged conduct is described below. A. Robbery related to Jane Doe number 1. Racketeering Act 1 alleges that R. Kelly, together with others, engaged in robbery in violation of Illinois law. Wait a minute. In or about 1994, Kelly used an enterprise member to pay $500 to get a state employee to create. Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm going to read this whole thing. That right there, this should be thrown out. All right, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's read. Racketeering Act 1 alleges that Kelly, together with others, engaged in robbery in violation of Illinois law. Check. I want y'all to write that down. Illinois law. Let's break this shit down. This is weak as fuck. And robbery in violation of Illinois law. In or about 1994, Kelly caused an enterprise member to pay $500 to get a state employee to create a state identification card for Jane Doe number 1, then 15 years old, so that Kelly and Jane Doe number 1 could get married and Jane Doe number 1 could not be forced to testify against him, given the spousal privilege. Records from Cook County and Illinois showed that on August the 30th, 1994, an application was granted for Kelly and Jane Doe number 1 to be married, and that they were in fact married on August 31st, 1994. The marriage application and record, marriage license, and certification of marriage all state that Jane Doe number 1 was 18 at the time, when in fact she was 15 years old. Let's stop right there. Let's break down, what is this? A. Let's break down A. Robbery. Okay. Let's go here. We all seen the fact that marriage certificate ain't have the signatures on it. And we all seen that. So that's done. But we all know that Robert did not have Demetrius Smith pay $500 for that. We all know that. On top of that, we all know that Demetrius Smith was told by Barry Hankerson and not Robert. Let's go here. We all know that was annulled because there was no signatures and the parents denied it. So now you're trying to bring it up. Let's go here. This happened. You know what? That right there, that should cancel all that out. On top of that, I think that the state employee that they talking about got immunity. But let's go here. If all of that fails, this is a New York indictment. Where did they say it happened at? In Illinois. Jurisdiction is not in New York. Therefore, you cannot charge this man for an Illinois crime and you charging him in New York. That's jurisdiction. So if I was the defense team, that right there should get taken out because it's a jurisdictional matter. That's a jurisdictional matter. So once jurisdiction is forced, once jurisdiction is proven, you cannot use that. Let's go to B. So 1 is out the question. Let's go to B. Jane Doe number 2. Racketeering Act 2 alleges that Kelly, together with others, enticed and coerced Jane Doe number 2, a minor, to engage in sexually explicit conduct and then visually recorded such conduct. The defendant met Jane Doe number 2 in or about 1999 when she was 16 years old, after another member of the enterprise approached her at a fast food restaurant and informed her the defendant wished to speak with her. Thereafter, while Jane Doe number 2 was a minor under 18 years old, the defendant filmed their sexual intercourse on multiple occasions, thereby creating child pornography, using materials that had been mailed, shipped, and transported in interstate and foreign commerce. Okay, let's break this down. If they said this much, that lets you know that Roshana, which is Jane Doe number 2, that lets you know that Roshana did not testify. This right here is what they're trying to use. This proves that Roshana did not testify. But once again, this is Chicago, not New York. What up, J-Rock? This is Chicago, not New York. If I was defense, I would strike this down. Jurisdiction. Okay? Jane Doe number 3. Oh, we gonna get big now. I'm on a roll now, but they shouldn't have gave me this one. Racketeering Acts 3 and 4 allege that Kelly, together with others, unlawfully imprisoned and sexually assaulted Jane Doe number 3 without her consent. In or about or between 2003 and 2004, Jane Doe number 3 met Kelly at a mall outside the state of Illinois when she was in her early 20s. Uh-oh. But I thought he only messed with minors. And working as a radio station intern. The defendant thereafter invited Jane Doe number 3 to travel to Chicago, Illinois, purportedly to conduct an interview of him. Following her arrival in Chicago, Jane Doe number 3 was directed to a recording studio. Once there, she was escorted to a room within the studio by one of the defendant's associates, who also took and searched her suitcase. Later, while in the room, another associate made a copy of Jane Doe number 3 driver's license. Another associate made a copy of Jane Doe number 3 driver's license. I thought he don't look at driver's license. I thought he liked underage girls. Why do you need a copy of a driver's license if you only like underage girl? Which means that this case is bullshit. Later, while in the room, another associate made a copy of Jane Doe number 3's driver's license, directed her to sign what she believed to be a non-disclosure agreement. And advised her not to talk to anyone and to keep her head down. I don't agree with that. Jane Doe number 3 ultimately spent approximately 3 days in the room, which was locked, without substantiations. After a member of the enterprise provided her with food and a drink, she became tired and dizzy. She woke up sometime thereafter to the defendant with her in the bedroom, and circumstances made it apparent that he had sexually assaulted her while she was unconscious. Let's go here. We talking about R. Kelly, motherfucker. And we talking about R. Kelly in his prime. He don't have to sexually assault, drug, or do anything to anybody. Right here, once again, this is Chicago, nigga. Ain't that what they say? So how is New York charging him for Chicago? This jurisdiction again. So therefore, Jane Doe 1 through 3 is Chicago. New York can't use it. It's jurisdiction. The defense team need to call jurisdictional a fact. Once they call that, they got to go through which one is jurisdictional fact. Jane Doe number 4. Racketeering Acts 5 through 7 allege that Kelly, together with others, enticed Jane Doe 4, a minor, to engage in illegal sexual activity, made a visual recording of such sexual activity, and used force and threats of force to obtain sexual services from the minor in or about May 2009, when Jane Doe number 4 was 16 years old, and the defendant was in his early 40s. What? Time out. 2009. Defendant in early 40s. 10 years, 2019. He's in his early 50s. We're in 2021. That will make Robert either 55 or 56. Somebody math is off. Because if he was in his early 40s in 2009, 10 years later, that would put him in his early 50s. Add 2 more years over that, that will put him at 55 or 56. Okay, let's read. In or about May 2009, when Jane Doe number 4 was 16 years old and the defendant was in his early 40s, the defendant began a sexual relationship with Jane Doe number 4 in violation of Illinois law, which untimely lasted for a period of months. During this time, on multiple occasions, the defendant produced sexually explicit photographs of videos of Jane Doe number 4, engaging in sexual intercourse and sexual contact with the defendant and others at his discretion. A discretion. In the course of their relationship, the defendant also engaged in a scheme, plan, and pattern intended to cause Jane Doe number 4 to believe that if she did not perform certain sexual acts on him and others at his discretion, she and her family members would suffer serious harm. The defendant engaged in a pattern of both physical and psychological abuse when Jane Doe number 4 disobeyed his sexual directives, including slapping, choking, and isolating her in rooms for days at a time with no access to food, which caused Jane Doe number 4 to believe such punishment would occur if she did not acquiesce acquiesce, okay, and perform sexual acts she did not want to perform. In addition to defendant caused Jane Doe number 4 to write and sign letters and other documents containing false information that, if released, would cause reputational harm to both her and her family, to both her and her close family members, as an additional means to exert control over her. In January 2010, Jane Doe number 4 left Kelly and retained lawyer number 1, an individual whose identity is known to the government, to represent her. On behalf of Jane Doe number 4, lawyer number 1 therefore negotiated a financial settlement with Kelly, in exchange for which Jane Doe number 4 agreed to not further discuss her relationship with Kelly. Let's break this down. This is Chicago too. Okay, so 1 through 4 is Chicago. Jane Doe number 5. Racketeering Acts 8 through 11. Damn. Alleged that Kelly, together with others, enticed Jane Doe number 5, a minor, to engage in illegal sexual activity, made a visual recording of such sexual activity, and used force and threats of force to obtain sexual services from the minor. Counts 2 through 5 charge the defendant with standalone crimes involving certain of that conduct as to Jane Doe number 5. In or about 2015, Jane Doe number 5, a minor and inspiring music artist, Azriel, met the defendant after attending one of his concerts. Thereafter, at the defendant's suggestion, Jane Doe number 5 began traveling on a consistent basis with the defendant while he was on tour. Stop! You leaving shit out. The government is leaving shit out. Okay, let's break this up. At the defendant's discretion, purportedly to learn about the music business, including to various locations in California, while Jane Doe number 5 was under 18 years old. In or about April and May 2015, while in California, the defendant engaged in sexual activity with Jane Doe number 5 without divulging to her that he had contracted an infectious venereal disease. Stop! So now y'all trying to tell me that Azriel got a disease? If that's the case, if Azriel got a venereal disease, I guess the nigga that she been fucking lately got a disease too. Let's make this make sense. Hey, Nikki, I got all that, but I want to make sense to this. In October 2015, while Jane Doe number 5 was a minor, he persuaded, induced, and coerced Jane Doe number 5 to travel. Okay, blah, blah, blah. As with Jane Doe number 4, the defendant... Wait a minute, this happened in California. Oh, my God. As with Jane Doe number 4, the defendant engaged in a pattern of both physical and psychological abuse when Jane Doe number 5 disobeyed his directives, including spanking and isolating her in rooms for days at a time with no access to food. What? Which caused Jane Doe number 5 to believe such punishment would occur if she did not acquiesce and perform sexual acts she did not want to perform. As a result of Kelly's course of coercive conduct, the defendant was able to successfully coerce Jane Doe number 5 into engaging in sexual activity with numerous other women at Kelly's discretion, and on occasion with another man. Uh-oh. Identified below as John Doe number 2. What the fuck? In addition, the defendant caused Jane Doe number 5 to write and sign letters and other documents containing false information that, if released, could cause reputational harm to both her and her close family members as an additional means to exert control over her. That's a fucking lie. Jane Doe number 6. Racketeering Acts 12 through 14 alleged that Kelly, together with others, enticed Jane Doe number 6 to engage in illegal sexual activity and use force and threats of force to obtain sexual services from Jane Doe number 6. Count 6 through 9 charge the defendant with standalone crimes involving certain of that conduct as to Jane Doe number 6. Jane Doe number 6 met with the defendant following an R. Kelly concert that she attended when she was 19 years old, at which time the defendant provided Jane Doe number 6 with his telephone number. Thereafter, the two communicated by telephone. In May 2017, at the defendant's direction, Jane Doe number 6 contacted another member of the enterprise, one of the defendant's assistants, to arrange travel to and accommodations in New York to attend an R. Kelly concert in Long Island, New York. Following the concert, Jane Doe number 6 returned to her hotel room in the early morning hours. The defendant unexpectedly arrived at Jane Doe number 6's room and loudly announced his presence. Untimely, at the defendant's direction, the encounter became sexual in nature and the two engaged in intercourse. The defendant did not use a condom. How do you know that? Prior to the intercourse, the defendant did not divulge to Jane Doe number 6 that he had contracted herpes, an infectious venereal disease, in violation of New York law. Let's stop. Let's keep going. Notably, during the encounter in the hotel room, the defendant told Jane Doe number 6 in sum and substance that if she was really 15 or 16 years old, she could tell him, suggesting he would have preferred for Jane Doe number 6 to be younger. How do you know that? That's word of mouth. And I don't believe he said that. But let's go here. How is it that the dates for Jane Doe number 6 is May 2017? So they had to make it some kind of way to make it stick. So basically, what they're trying to say is that Azriel had herpes, right? And that Kelly gave it to Azriel and then took it and gave it to Faith. Well, let's go here. Because Faith is Jane Doe number 6. Well, let's go here. How don't we know that Faith got it from her ex-boyfriend who came public and said he had herpes? And he gave it to Faith. How is it that Azriel have herpes in this indictment, but she don't have it now? Make it make sense. After the defendant arranged and paid Jane Doe number 6 to travel to various locations throughout the United States to see him, including in January 2018 to Los Angeles, California. During this trip, Jane Doe number 6 went to a recording studio in Los Angeles to see the defendant. Once at the studio, Jane Doe number 6 waited for many hours in a room without substance. That's what it means to say. For the defendant to arrive. After briefly seeing him, the defendant did not show up again until the following day. Stop. If he's recording, he's working. And she knew that. So why is that a problem if they already had that arranged? Make that make sense. Okay. After he arrived the following day, the defendant took Jane Doe number 6 into a smaller area room and instructed Jane Doe number 6 to take off her clothing. Jane Doe number 6 noticed a gun in the room. What? Which the defendant moved to a piece of furniture nearby. He then proceeded to ask Jane Doe number 6 a series of questions, warning her there would be consequences if she lied. Given the surrounding circumstances, Jane Doe number 6 believed she was not free to leave the room. Thereafter, the defendant directed Jane Doe number 6 to give him oral sex in the room. When agents executed a search warrant at the defendant's residence on July 11, 2019, they found a holster and ammunition. Okay. The defendant arranged for Jane Doe number 6. You know what? I'm going to say this. They found the holster and ammunition, but Rob was already ordered and to turn over all firearms, which he did by the state. So if he turned that over already, then what's the problem? Where's the gun? All of his firearms have been turned over to the state. The defendant arranged for Jane Doe. But wait a minute. Hold on. When agents executed a search warrant at the defendant's residence on July 11, 2019, they found the holster and the ammunition. Wait, but if the gun was in LA, why do it matter if the holster and ammunition is in Chicago? Okay, y'all motherfuckers reaching now. The defendant arranged for Jane Doe number 6 to travel a final time to see him in February 2018 in New York City. While in New York, the defendant engaged in sexual activity with Jane Doe number 6, again without divulging to her that he had contracted an infectious venereal disease in violation of New York law. Jane Doe number 6 stopped seeing the defendant following this trip and ultimately learned that she had contracted an infectious venereal disease during the course of her relationship with the defendant. Medical records confirm that the defendant had an infectious venereal disease during the course of his sexual activity with Jane Doe number 6. I would like to see that because I don't believe that, because during that time, he wasn't on no meds. So what medical records? All that got to come into play. Oh, yeah. We're going to break that down. Overview of the government's evidence of the defendants of the acts. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 1, a minor. As described above, Kelly is charged in Racketeering Act 1 with robbery of a state employee to create a state identification. Well, we all know that that's Demetrius Smith. And that's Chicago. So therefore, you can't even use that. Throw that out. When Kelly met Jane Doe number 1, she was a minor and the niece of his manager at the time. Throw all that out. Throw that out. Okay. Jane Doe, at the time, Jane Doe number 1 was a promising young singer, and Kelly thereafter began to write and produce music for Jane Doe number 1, while Jane Doe number 1 was still a minor. Kelly began a sexual relationship with her, and in August 1984, when Jane Doe number 1 was 15 years old, Kelly believed Jane Doe number 1 had become pregnant. What? As a result, in an effort to shield himself from criminal charges related to his illegal sexual relationship with Jane Doe number 1, Kelly arranged to secretly marry her to prevent her from being compelled to testify against him in the future. Everybody know that that's not true. Everybody know that Barry Hankinson set that up, and it was supposed to be a publicity stunt for the record label. So now look how they trying to carry that. Okay. Sexual abuse for Jane Doe number 7, a minor. In about 1991, when she was approximately 15 years old, Jane Doe number 7, an individual whose identity is known to the government, met Kelly at his apartment in Chicago, Illinois. He didn't have an apartment in 91. He had a house. Jane Doe number 7 had been invited by a female acquaintance who was also a minor to come to Kelly's apartment with her. 2 other minor females also came to the apartment with them. While at the apartment, Kelly initiated and engaged in sexual intercourse with Jane Doe number 7. Jane Doe number 7 also saw Kelly engaged in sexual encounters with other minors she went to Kelly's apartment with. Tracy Sampson. Come on, man, stop. Jane Doe number 7 later became employed by Kelly. No, that's not Tracy Sampson. Wait a minute. Jane Doe number 7 later became employed by Kelly as, among other things, a backup dancer. During the course of her time with Kelly, Jane Doe number 7 observed Kelly engaged in sexual contact with Jane Doe number 1, a minor. So we all know who this is. We all know who this is. I want to say Javante. I'm not sure, but I want to say Javante. Okay. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 8, a minor. In or about September 1994, Jane Doe number 8, a 17-year-old girl and an individual whose identity is known to the government, attended a concert in Florida where Kelly performed. This is Lizette. Where Kelly performed. After the concert, members of the Enterprise directed Jane Doe number 8 and a friend of hers to go backstage to meet Kelly, and Jane Doe number 8 obtained Kelly's autograph. While Jane Doe number 8 was backstage, Kelly, who was not wearing a condom, vaginally penetrated her with his penis in violation of Florida law. a pamphlet signed by Kelly containing a reference to Jane Doe number 8 and a room number corroborates Jane Doe number 8's encounter with Kelly. How? Okay, this is Lizette. But let's go here. This happened in Florida, not in New York. Throw that out. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 9, a minor. In or about 1995, Kelly met Jane Doe number 9, a 17-year-old girl, and an individual whose identity is known to the government at a Florida mall. And thereafter commenced a sexual relationship with her in violation of Florida law. On one occasion, Jane Doe number 9 laughed at a joke by one of Kelly's associates, and Kelly immediately summoned her outside and slapped her across the face for having done so. During their relationship, Jane Doe number 9 contracted herpes and disclosed her diagnosis to Kelly, who did not admit to having herpes. At the time of her diagnosis, Jane Doe number 9 was only sexually active with Kelly. Let's stop right there. When was this? 95? Okay, so why Dre don't have herpes then? Make that make sense. And it's happening in Florida. So throw that out. But why Dre don't have herpes? Make that make sense. If Dre don't have herpes, how does she have herpes? All right, let's finish. If Dre had never had herpes, how does she got herpes? So I guess R. Kelly Penis picks and selects who he have herpes with. Okay, I get it. Makes sense. Bullshit. E. Sexual abuse to Jane Doe number 10. But Jane Doe number 9. I gotta backtrack, see what that is. Jane Doe number 10, a minor. In or about July 2001, Jane Doe number 10, an individual whose identity is known to the government, who was then 16 years old, attended an R. Kelly concert. Prior to the concert, the members of the enterprise gave Jane Doe number 10 and her friend backstage passes so they could meet Kelly following the concert. After the concert, Jane Doe number 10 and her friend met Kelly backstage and took a photo with him. As they were leaving, another member of the enterprise told Jane Doe number 10 that Kelly wanted to see her again and provided her with a piece of with Kelly's cell phone number and his hotel room number on it, and advised Jane Doe number 10 to call the phone number in an hour. Thereafter, Jane Doe number 10 called the number, and Kelly invited her to come to his hotel room. Jane Doe number 10 subsequently went to the hotel room with her friend. When they arrived, Kelly was there with multiple other people. Kelly subsequently took Jane Doe number 10 to the bathroom, closed the door, and immediately exposed himself, signaling that he wanted Jane Doe number 10 to give him oral sex, which she did. Jane Doe number 10 and her friends subsequently left. The next morning, Jane Doe number 10 returned to Kelly's hotel room, and the two engaged in sexual contact. Thereafter, Jane Doe number 10 communicated with Kelly by phone, and through another member of the enterprise, Kelly made arrangements and paid for Jane Doe number 10 to travel to Chicago to see him. And or about December 2001. While Jane Doe number 10 was 16 years old, Jane Doe number 10 traveled to Chicago to Kelly's recording studio. Upon her arrival, an employee directed Jane Doe number 10 to an office where Kelly was. Let's stop right here. You can't travel by yourself at 16 back in 2001. This is a lie. Kelly immediately told Jane Doe number 10 to pull down her pants and turn around. Jane Doe number 10 did not initially comply with Kelly's direction. In response, Kelly became angry and yelled at her. Jane Doe number 10 felt intimidated and did as Kelly directed. Thereafter, Kelly asked Jane Doe number 10 for her ID and showed it to him, and she showed it to him. Kelly thereafter directed Jane Doe number 10 to give him oral sex, which she did. In April 2003, when Jane Doe number 10 was no longer a minor, Jane Doe number 10 saw Kelly again and engaged in sexual intercourse with him. In about 2004, based on information she received from another individual, Jane Doe number 10 became concerned that Kelly may have videotaped their sexual encounter in his hotel room when she was 16 years old, and that such videotape had been disseminated. In an effort to learn whether such a videotape existed, Jane Doe number 10 contacted lawyer number 1, which is Susan Logan, who had represented individuals who had sued Kelly previously. Thereafter, Jane Doe number 10 engaged in services of lawyer number 1. Kelly ultimately reached financial state settlement with Jane Doe number 10, which is Tracy Sampson, in which he paid a substantial sum to Jane Doe number 10 and lawyer number 1. The settlement agreement included a non-disclosure provision, which purportedly would prevent Jane Doe number 10 from reporting Kelly conduct to law enforcement. So we can throw this out because remedy has been met twice. Whether he paid her or somebody else paid her in his honor, remedy has been met twice. So I would strike that. Exposure of Jane Doe's 11 and 12 to a sexually transmitted disease. How come this is the first time we ever hearing about this? Jane Doe number 11, an individual whose identity is known to the government, met Kelly when she was an adult and had a consensual sexual relationship with Kelly beginning in 2001. What the hell? Prior to engaging in sexual activity with Kelly, Jane Doe 11 tried to ask Kelly whether he had any sexual transmitted diseases, and he demurred. Kelly did not wear a condom while engaging in sexual activity with Jane Doe 11. How do y'all know that? Jane Doe number 11 later learned that she had contracted herpes. Here we go with this herpes shit. And believed she had contracted it from Kelly. And about 2003. Child, please. Drea, do you have herpes, Drea? Jane Doe number 11 retained lawyer number 1, Susan Logan, and reached a $250,000 settlement with Kelly. Jane Doe number 11 advised that her friend Jane Doe number 12, who is now deceased, Aaliyah. Oh, wait a minute. No. That's not Aaliyah. Okay. This is another chick from Chicago. Let me stop there. When I did my first rally, and I was arguing with this lady, she was trying to talk about somebody named Pam. Pam has been dead for 9 years. And now all of a sudden, this popped up. Come on, man. Y'all playing with dead people now. Y'all got to stop this shit. Jane Doe number 12, who is now deceased, also reached a $250,000 settlement with Kelly based on a similar claim. As part of the settlement, Jane Doe 11 believed that she was not permitted to disclose to anyone, including law enforcement, her claims about Kelly. So wait, 11 and 12, if y'all got herpes, Drea should have herpes then. Why Drea don't have herpes? Something ain't adding up. G. Sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 13, a minor. In March 2006, Kelly met Jane Doe number 13, a 15-year-old girl and an individual whose identity is known to the government, at a concert and arranged to meet her at the following day. Upon meeting her, Kelly asked her whether she was a virgin and thereafter commenced a sexual relationship with her. Kelly arranged for a member of the Enterprise, one of his bus drivers, to drive Jane Doe number 13 several hours within Florida and otherwise arranged for her air travel to Kelly's residence in Chicago, Illinois. Telephone records, emails, and bank records corroborate Kelly's relationship to Jane Doe number 13, beginning when she was 15 years old. I got to do my investigation on that. I don't know who 13 is just yet. Sexual abuse of John Doe number 1, a minor. What the fuck? And about December the 6th, Kelly met John Doe number 1, a 17-year-old boy, and an individual whose identity is known to the government, at a local McDonald's and invited him to attend a party at his residence in Chicago, Illinois. John Doe number 1, along with his mother and stepfather, attended the party. When Kelly saw John Doe number 1 with his family members, Kelly advised him to come without them to the next gathering. Thereafter, Kelly invited John Doe number 1 into his studio under the guise of helping and mentor John Doe number 1 with his musical aspirations. Kelly also asked John Doe number one what he was willing to do to succeed in the music business and clarified that he wanted John Doe number one to engage in sexual contact with Kelly. Oh no, that's a lie. I don't believe that shit. With that backdrop, Kelly then engaged in sexual contact with John Doe number one in violations of Illinois law. What? John Doe number one thereafter introduced Kelly to, among others, John Doe number two, a close male friend who was then 16 or 17. Wait a minute. And you can't say 16 or 17. This is an indictment. It got to be direct. Boo boo. Boo boo. 17 years old, and whose identity is known to the government. And Kelly sought to establish a sexual relationship with John Doe number two. Several years later, Kelly started a sexual relationship with John Doe number two. What the fuck? And required his girlfriends, including Jane Doe number five, to have sex with John Doe number two upon his command and often filmed those encounters. Kelly sometimes paid John Doe number two after sexual encounters with him. Kelly also directed John Doe number one and others to engage in sexual contact with each other and film those encounters. Telephone records corroborate Kelly's relationship with John Doe number one and John Doe number two, beginning when they were 17 years old. Stop. Right here, you saying beginning when they were 17 years old, right? But let's scroll up a little bit. Didn't you say John Doe number two, which is a lie, a close male friend who was 16 or 17? But then you come down and you say they both were 17? Come on, man. Can y'all get y'all fucking lies straight? This starting to anger me. This is starting to anger me. Get your lies straight. This is really starting to anger me. John Doe number one also introduced Kelly to his girlfriends, to the girlfriends of John Doe number one. Unlawful imprisonment of Jane Doe number 14. In 2008, Kelly met Jane Doe number 14, a woman in her 20s whose identity is known to the government, and arranged for her to travel to Kelly's residence in Chicago, Illinois, where they began a sexual relationship. During her last trip to Chicago to see Kelly, she was left in the room for a long period of time, and she became worried. She told a member of the enterprise, an individual on Kelly's security team, that she wanted to leave, and that individual said they would figure it out, but did not allow her to leave just then. The following morning, she overheard Kelly yelling and sounds of a physical assault. Jane Doe number 14 again contacted Kelly's security team, but this time said that she was going to call the police if not permitted to leave. Only then did a member of Kelly's security team come to the room where she was staying, escort her out the room, and take her to the airport. That don't even sound logical. Threats toward employee number one and harsh payments towards Jane Doe 15. In 2009, Kelly met Jane Doe 15, an aspiring singer who was 17 years old and whose identity is known to the government, through a talent manager who years later became an employee of Kelly. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Employee number one, Cheryl Mack. Became an employee of Kelly, identified herein as employee number one. Kelly paid for Jane Doe number 15 lodging and hotel nearby his residence in Olympia Fields, Illinois, purportedly so that Kelly could mentor and assist her with her music, and Jane Doe 15 could use the studio at his residence to record music. Jane Doe 15 ceased her relationship with Kelly when she was 18 years old, went to the hospital where she confided to a nurse that Kelly had sexually abused her, filed a police report, and retained an attorney, Susan Logans, to represent her in a possible lawsuit against Kelly. Kelly thereafter told employee number one in sum and substance that Jane Doe 15 was attempting to sue Kelly for engaging in a sexual relationship with her, that employee number one needed to decide whether she was on Team Kelly or Team Jane Doe 15. And that employee number one, who was based in Atlanta at the time, needed to travel to Chicago immediately. At Kelly's direction, employee number one traveled to Chicago, where Kelly told employee number one in substance, you have to be careful in these situations because people end up going missing. A comment employee number one construed as a threat to her and her family. Shortly thereafter, a member of the enterprise, one of Kelly's employees, told employee number one that she had to go to downtown Chicago with him, but did not provide any information regarding precisely where they were going or for what purpose. Upon their arrival in downtown Chicago, employee number one was dropped off at Kelly's lawyer's office, where the lawyer presented her with a prepared typewritten affidavit to sign. Employee number one did not read the affidavit in full, but saw that it said inter alia and in substance that she did not see Kelly have sex with Jane Doe 15, provide Jane Doe 15 with alcohol, or slap Jane Doe 15. Employee number one reported that she signed the affidavit without carefully reading it because she feared that harm would come to her or her family if she did not. Bank records show that Kelly paid lawyer number one, and that lawyer number one then paid nearly $400,000 to Jane Doe 15. Jane Doe 15 repeatedly declined to meet with law enforcement. Physical and psychological abuse of Jane Doe 16 and Jane Doe 17. In or about 2001, Kelly met Jane Doe 16, who was then 16 or 17 years old. Here go the boo-boo again. And whose identity is known to the government, and commenced a multi-year sexual relationship with Jane Doe 16. In or about May 2009, Kelly met Jane Doe 17, who was then 17 years old, and those identity is known to the government, and commenced a multi-year sexual relationship with Kelly. Both women remained with Kelly until at least in or about 2017. Kelly regularly spanked Jane Doe 16 and Jane Doe 17 when he perceived that they had violated one of his rules. He also directed Jane Doe 16 and Jane Doe 17 to write numerous letters containing falsehoods and embarrassing allegations of Kelly to use it to his discretion and if and when the need arose. In addition, witnesses saw Kelly subject Jane Doe 17 to particularly extreme punishment, which included loss of her cellular telephone, violent assaults, and deprivation of food, and the ability to leave her room. Jane Doe 16 and Jane Doe 17 also engaged in sex with Kelly and Jane Doe number 2 and John Doe number 2, and an individual otherwise known to either of them. At Kelly's direction, which interactions were often filmed, the government recovered various letters written by Jane Doe 16 and Jane Doe 17, including certain ones that appear to contain falsehoods. Physical and psychological abuse to Jane Doe 18. In or about 2016, Jane Doe number 18, whose identity is known as the government, met Kelly at one of his concerts when she was approximately 20 years old. After one of Kelly's associates approached her and told Jane Doe 18 that Kelly wanted to meet her in or about 2016. Jane Doe 18 started a sexual relationship with Kelly. Kelly regularly punished Jane Doe number 18 in various ways when she violated his rules. For example, Kelly violently spanked, hit, and kicked Jane Doe 18 on multiple occasions. At times, Kelly also instructed Jane Doe 18 to text Kelly that she liked being spanked after administering the spankings as punishment. This sounds like a fair. In addition to the spankings, Kelly ordered Jane Doe 18 to walk back and forth in high heels for long stretches of time. What the repeating as she walked what he deemed she had done wrong as a punishment. At a concert in November 2017, Kelly became enraged with Jane Doe 18 because he suspected she had been communicating with another man and grabbed Jane Doe 18 and broke her necklace, cutting her neck. Kelly then made her go back to the hotel where she was staying and write a note stating that she had attacked Kelly. Kelly dictated to her what he wanted her to write in the note. When she finished the note, Kelly directed Jane Doe number 18 to give him the note for his future use. On other occasions, Kelly slapped Jane Doe number 18 because he believed she was looking at or talking to other men in violation of his rules. In addition, during their relationship, Jane Doe number 18 signed a non-disclosure agreement and at Kelly's direction wrote letters in which she wrote embarrassing falsehoods and witnessed others write similar letters. The government recovered various letters written by Jane Doe number 18, including certain ones that contained falsehoods which were directed to her by Kelly so that he could use the letters against her at a later date. Kelly also directed Jane Doe number 18 to make recordings of herself engaged in compromising and disparaging acts and making certain statements at his instruction, and to provide those recordings to him. The contents of those recordings, which would cause Jane Doe number 18 embarrassment and reputational harm if disseminated to others, were thus available for Kelly's use at a time of his choosing. At Kelly's direction, Jane Doe number 18 also engaged in sex with Kelly and others, including Jane Doe number 5 and John Doe number 2. An individual otherwise known to her, which Kelly regularly recorded. Threats towards Jane Doe number 6 and others. In or about fall of 2018, continuing through January 2020, Kelly and other members of the enterprise, including who? Donnell Russell. And y'all mad at me, right? I was waiting. And y'all mad at me, right? Including Donnell Russell and Russell's mother and an individual working on Kelly's behalf used coercive tactics to attempt to convince Jane Doe number 6 to abandon a civil lawsuit, which we all know that Robert ain't had shit to do with that. I was waiting for this. So for the slow people out there that say, Don Russell, we believe in you, Don Russell the muscle, here we go again. And know about the fall of 2018 continuing through January 2020. This is 2 years. This is 2 years. Two years. And I told y'all, do not bring him together. Now watch this. And know about the fall of 2018, continued into January 2020. Kelly and other members of the enterprise, including Donnell Russell, Russell's mother, and an individual working on Kelly's behalf, used coercive tactics to attempt to convince Jane Doe number 6 to abandon a civil lawsuit she had filed against Kelly and to stop speaking publicly about Kelly. They did so by conveying to Jane Doe number 6 that they had maintained compromising photographs of her, which could be released at any time, and then releasing certain such photographs publicly via a Facebook page called Surviving Lies. I thank you, Cash. Cash Jones saves me, because when I jumped out there with this, I wasn't on Facebook. And Cash told me to scrap that because that's her and Don Russell shit, and I did it. Thank God. Facebook page called Surviving Lies. And during interviews Russell conducted on YouTube. Texas Black Diamond. Phases. There you go. There you go. I told y'all what was coming down the motherfucking pipe. Sylvia, I thank you for supplying the video. No, Randa supplied the video. Sylvia supplied the paperwork. I thank y'all. I'm giving y'all credit now. I thank y'all. So now people can leave me the fuck alone. Specifically following the filing of a civil lawsuit on behalf of Jane Doe number 6 against Kelly in November 2018. The lawyer who filed the lawsuit for Jane Doe number 6 received a typewritten letter signed by Kelly. Ooh. But y'all said, wait, a typewritten letter signed by who? And Robert ain't had nothing to do with that. That was all Don Russell. That was all Don Russell. So like I said, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to show y'all what it was. Here we go again. I asked them to give me the work, and I can take it to Doug and to the other lawyers and to Steve. They went behind my back and sent it to the lawyers. And now they don't want to accept their responsibility. I told y'all Don Russell was on some fuck shit. I told y'all. But no, it's in here. It's in here. Here we go. And doing interviews that Russell conducted on YouTube. The only two that he showed the paperwork on is Texas Black Diamond and motherfucking Phases The Next Level. That's why Phases scrapped her page. Because they grabbed her first. And by her already being in the federal system, she wasn't trying to violate her motherfucking probation. Oh, they ain't want this to come out. I want to see the outrage now. I want to see the outrage towards Randa and towards Sylvia now. I want to see what the fuck going to happen now. Now that it's here, I want to see what's going to happen. Where's the outrage towards Texas Black Diamond? Where's the outrage towards Don and his mama? Oh, wait. Where's the outrage towards Bedbug? I'll wait. I ain't going to say shit. I'm going to sit back and watch this show. So all of y'all that thought I was lying, here's your proof. Here's your proof. Here's your proof. And for all of y'all thought I was lying, and if you want, I got the emails. I'll show you the emails. When Sylvia portrayed to be a government worker and got the information on Don Mama. Thanks, Laverne. Thanks, Laverne. And I ain't gonna lie to you. All the people that followed them was bamboozled. It's okay. Just when y'all get enough heart, come public and say, Dana, I apologize. You don't even gotta say what it's for. Thank you, Nene. So when I said shit coming down, shit coming down. So let's finish. Specifically following the filing of a civil lawsuit on behalf of Jane Doe number 6 against Kelly in November 2018, the lawyer who filed the lawsuit for Jane Doe number 6 received a typewritten letter signed by Kelly. We all know Kelly ain't signed that. And closed with the letter were portions of the civil complaint filed on behalf of Jane Doe number 6 with the following stamp affixed: I do not accept this offer to contract. Excuse me, and I do not consent to these proceedings. We all know that Robert don't know nothing about that. And we all know that Robert don't know nothing about that. And see, this is what I mean when I say people that don't know what they're doing, but they want to be so much connected and they want to be the first to do everything. They jump out there and they fuck shit up. So at the end of the day, I want to see the outrage. If not, nobody better not ever come to my page and say shit again. If they do, I'm going to point to this. So, with Kelly's handwritten signature and the state of Illinois' notary stamp and signature for Russell's mother. Uh-oh. But I thought Don Russell said his mother ain't do that. Now check it. Would nobody have known that if it wasn't for Sylvia? Nobody wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for Sylvia. Better yet, y'all think I'm playing, don't y'all? Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all really think I'm goddamn playing. Y'all really think I'm goddamn playing. Y'all think I'm goddamn playing, don't y'all? I'm going to show y'all. Not today. Not today. Not today. See, y'all think I'm goddamn playing. So hold on. I'm going to take it from there for a second. Y'all think I'm goddamn playing. I'm going to show y'all. Not today. What did it say? Forward letter notarized by Don Russell's mother. Right? Can I make this bigger? Look, forward letter notarized by Don Russell's mother, June Barrett. Date, April the 15th, 2020 at 9:02 p.m. Who is it coming from? You see where it say? Hold on, let me make it bigger for you. You see where it say? Infamous what? Sylvia. Look, here's all the contacts. Thanks, boss lady. Here we go. From Sylvia, here we go. No, I don't want to do that. From Sylvia Parks. Here we go. From Sylvia Parks, sparks1565 at gmail.com. Date Wednesday, October the 30th, 2019, 1:09 p.m. Subject, forward letter notarized by Don Russell's mother, June Barrett. 2, djackson0807 at gmail.com. And what did I do? I forwarded to Doug, and Doug said he already got it from Sylvia. And what was it forwarded? Here we go. The letter. The letter. The letter. The letter. The whole letter. Now that I showed that, I wish a motherfucker would tell me I'm lying. I will go show the whole goddamn email. I will go show the whole email. The whole email. When she having a talk with the lady from Chicago and everything. I will show that whole shit. So while everybody say I was lying, I sit back and wait. I sit back and wait. Hey, Queen Christy. I sit back and wait. Because the truth gonna come out. Check. An individual whose identity is known to the government. The 2 pieces of paper that contain images and typewritten text. Among the images were text messages between Kelly and Jane Doe number 6, as well as photographs of Jane Doe number 6 that were apparently cropped to not disclose certain body parts. So now Don Russell done went down there and said R. Kelly done did that shit, and then he telling all of y'all he's fighting for R. Kelly. But it's sitting right here telling y'all that he has said that Robert did it and not him. It's telling y'all. It's telling y'all that look, an individual whose identity is known to the government. The two pieces of paper that contain images and typewritten text. Among the images were text messages exchanges between Kelly and Jane Doe number 6, as well as photographs of Jane Doe number 6 that were apparently cropped to not disclose certain body parts, but which nonetheless include portions of Jane Doe number 6's exposed buttocks and breasts. And look, it said right here, on or about August 13, 2020, Donald Russell was arraigned on a complaint charging him with stalking of Jane Doe number 6 and an immediate family member of Jane Doe number 6 in violation of US 2261. So everything I said was facts. So while Texas Black Diamond and One Pat Poose and all them talking about I'm lying? Tell me I'm lying now. Look, beneath those photographs was text, including, I assure you this would not be considered a Sunday go-to meeting dress. Now watch this. When they went and got Don Russell, oh, there you go. I don't think I said. The next two pictures have been cropped for the sake of not exposing her extremities to the world yet. As described further below in recorded statements live streamed over YouTube in late January 2019, Darnell Russell stated that he wrote a commentary that accompanied the photographs. Wait, but I thought Robert did. That Kelly had signed the letter and that he had participated in sending these documents to the lawyer. I'll wait. How is that helping Robert? Texas Black Diamond. One Pat Poose. Y'all were the main ones. How is that helping Robert? Don Russell has struck again. I said he's not going to sit there and say what he did. He's going to say Robert told him. Why y'all think they pushed his case to January? So that way he won't have to face Robert and they can use what he said. He won't even be nowhere near where Robert is. Now watch this. Notably, a judicially authorized search of Kelly's Apple iPhone seized at the time of his federal arrest revealed that on the morning of October 26, 2018, Kelly sent the photographs of Jane Doe number 6 and text messages exchanged between Jane Doe number 6 and Kelly that were included in the November 2018 mailing to Don Russell's mother via MMS messages. Stop. Didn't I tell y'all that Don Russell got Robert's phone? And when Robert was occupied in the studio and started taking pictures of Robert's phone and whatever else I don't know what he done. Here it is right here. I'm sorry. I guess I didn't know Robert. I'm telling y'all what I knew. And when I told Robert that he did that, Robert questioned him and told him, yo, don't do no fuck shit like that. So check it. Don Russell, it was sent to Darnell Russell's mother via MMS messages. Later that same day, Russell's mother sent a text message to Kelly that said, question, do you have a way of sending me one more picture showing her phone number at the top? I'm going to print it and include it along with the other 3 and include them in the letter to her attorney. Everything I said is right there. Do I need to go any further? Everything I said that Don Russell did is right there. But y'all believe that nigga. Y'all believe that nigga. So what is Randa going to say now to combat her friend? Since they want to rock with Don Russell, what is she going to say now? Thank you, Midas. But wait. But the reason why they trying to incriminate Robert, because they trying to say that Robert did that. No, Robert didn't. No, Robert didn't. Nobody want to talk about the truth. So they want to try to throw my stuff out there that I said like I'm going to go back on what I said. No. I mean what I said, and I say what the fuck I mean. Look, y'all might as well hit that Cash App because this live is not going to be monetized. I done cussed one too many times. But I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. This shit got me mad all over again. The same motherfuckers that tried to backstab me, the same motherfuckers that ran with a motherfucker that tried to hurt my fucking friend. And ain't nobody over there sitting back holding nobody fucking accountable. So you fucking right I'm mad. Shit. Then they even got the fucking emoji up here. Fucking stupid ass people. I done lost my crib fighting for Robert. I done lost my job fighting for Robert. And these motherfuckers, only thing they was worried about is Cash App and notoriety. And they fucked him up along with this fat picklehead bitch. So no, I want to see all of them motherfuckers locked up. If Robert gotta pay, all of them motherfuckers gotta pay, including Don Russell motherfucking mother. Lock our ass up too. Fuck all this shit. Man. Kelly thereafter responded with a text message stating, "Enter Alia." Check this out. So you know that Don Russell had the fucking phone because how the fuck Robert going to stay enter Alia? He don't know nothing about that shit. Oh, man. Let's go. I'm going to get you more. What? United States Postal Service's USPS records indicate that the mail-in described above was sent by certified mail from Chicago, Illinois on November the 20th, 2018 and received at the lawyer's address in Brooklyn, New York. On November 26, 2018, USPS records for the certified mail return receipt associated with the mail-in indicate that the destination address for the return receipt was 219 North Justine Street, Chicago, Illinois. What the fuck? Don Russell and his mom even put the studio address when they sent the shit off. I'm so fucking through. I'm so fucking through. I can choke the shit out of Texas Black Diamond right now. And one Papoose. I'm so fucking through. Fuck all this YouTube back and forth shit. Time to get back on my grizzly. These bitches don't know what the fuck they talking about. I don't even know why. I don't even know why I entertain this shit from the jump. The address of a warehouse rented and used as Inter Alia, the recording studio by Kelly at the time. Man, they They done fucked him all the way up, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I was hoping Don Russell had some sort of nuts and tell the fucking truth. I was hoping he had some sort of nuts. In November and December 2018, Donnell Russell was in telephone and email communication with an individual whose identity is known to the government, who offered to work on Kelly's behalf, including as a behind-the-scenes publicist for Kelly, Cash Jones, the publicist. Oh my fucking God, man. Like, yo, why did y'all do this to him? Why? Why? Among other things, in early December 2018, Russell sent emails to the publicists, including, among other things, the same photographs of Jane Doe number 6, described above, on December the 4th, 2018, using the alias :Don and the email address :Don@yahoo.com. Russell sent an email with the subject line, "The Survivors Exposed," to various individuals employed by A&E Networks, which owns Lifetime Entertainment Services. Like I told y'all, Lifetime produced a documentary series featuring various of R. Kelly accusers entitled "Surviving R. Kelly," which aired on the Lifetime TV network in early January 2019. On the evening of December the 4th, 2008, Lifetime was to hold a private screening of a portion of the documentary at the theater in Manhattan, which is on federal grounds. However, the screening was interrupted by a gun threat that was communicated by telephone to the theater. The December the 4th, 2018 email from :Don attached a PDF, the Survivors PDF, that included photographs and purported derogatory information related to various of Kelly's accusers who appeared in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary series, including Jane Doe number 4 and Jane Doe number 6, including the same photographs of Jane Doe number 6, partially exposed breasts and buttocks that were sent to Jane Doe number 6's lawyer in November 2018. That same day, Russell forwarded this email to the publicist. Jane Doe number 6 and her mother traveled to New York City to attend the December the 4th, 2018 Surviving R. Kelly premiere. The premiere was interrupted and police arrived and evacuated the theater where it was being held. Jane Doe number 6 later learned that a threat had been made to the theater, which resulted in an evacuation. Therefore, Jane Doe number 6 returned to her hotel and encountered the publicist. But they didn't go to the hotel. The motherfuckers went to eat. They got the shit backwards. The publicist told Jane Doe number 6 that she worked for Kelly and they needed to talk. Ultimately, Jane Doe number 6 and her mother agreed to meet with the publicist at a nearby restaurant. At the meeting, the publicist was accompanied by a male individual with a gun on his person that Jane Doe number 6 believed to be the publicist's bodyguard. No, that was Michael Williams. During the meeting, the publicist showed Jane Doe number 6 nude photographs and Jane Doe number 6 and suggested that Kelly would release the photographs publicly if Jane Doe number 6 continued to speak about Kelly. Jane Doe number 6 recognized the photographs as photographs that had been taken by Kelly during her relationship with him. On December 21st, 2018, Russell sent a series of text messages to Jane Doe number 6 and her mother, which included the text "Just a sample. We will seek criminal charges. You've been warned." Followed by photographs of portions of the Survivors PDF, including the same photographs of Jane Doe number 6, included in the November the 8th, 2018 mailing to Jane Doe number 6's lawyer. Thereafter, inter alia, Russell sent to Jane Doe number 6. Wait a minute. Y'all, it's telling y'all who's doing this shit. Russell sent Jane Doe number 6 and her mother text messages stating, publishing soon. And this is colon. My investigation will be done soon enough. On January 3rd, 2019, Russell sent another text message stating, pull the plug or you will be exposed. Records, excuse me. Records from Spirit Airlines indicate that the published traveled from Florida to LaGuardia Airport with her cousin. Who? Michael the motherfucking Williams. Like I told y'all, on the morning of December the 4th, 2018. Notably, on August the 11th, 2020, Williams was arrested on a complaint charging him with witness intimidation and arson for setting fire to a car parked in the driveway of Jane Doe number 5 residence at the time. Williams was subsequently indicted by a grand jury. Indicted by a grand jury in the Eastern District of New York on the same charges and thereafter pleaded guilty to arson. During a search of the hotel room Williams was staying in at the time of his arrest, law enforcement agents recovered a loaded 9mm high-point handgun with an obliterated serial number and a black holster. On January 7, 2019, at 2:42:01 UTC, Russell, using the Don alias, created a Facebook page called Surviving Lies. Facebook deactivated the Surviving Lies Facebook page on January 7, 2019 at 20:44:17. After posts targeting Jane Doe number 6 and another of Kelly's accusers were posted on the page by Russell. Those postings included photographs of text messages exchanges between Jane Doe number 6 and Kelly, and photographs of Jane Doe number 6 included in the November 2018 mailing to Jane Doe number 6's lawyer. Following Facebook deactivation of the page, Facebook issued a statement indicating that the page violated Facebook's community standards and had been removed, adding, "We do not tolerate bullying or sharing others' private contact information and take action on content that violates our policies as soon as we are aware." On January 25th, 2020, Russell appeared in a video interview live stream on YouTube. During the interview, Russell introduced himself as Kelly's advisor. Okay, that was Neek at Night, consultant and friend, and indicated that he had known Kelly for going on 30 years now. Thereafter, during the interview, Russell discussed Jane Doe number 6 and the lawsuit she had filed, holding up copies of items. Nope, that's phases. I'm sorry, but that was phases. Holding up copies of items that had been sent to Jane Doe number 6 lawyer. No, I'm wrong. Dana, calm down. Matter of fact, I'm right. This is phases. This is phases, including the photographs of Jane Doe number 6 described above. While holding up one of the pages with photographs of Jane Doe number 6 to the camera, Russell stated, "That's my commentary" at the bottom. On January 26th of 2020, Russell appeared in another video interview live stream on YouTube. That was Texas Black Diamond. During the interview, Russell again held up copies of the items that had been sent to Jane Doe number 6's lawyer, including the photographs of Jane Doe number 6 described above. Wow. Holding up these items, Russell stated, "We sent these documents to the lawyer." Russell further stated, "These are the pictures of her, Jane Doe number 6, Faith Rogers, that we sent. These are the text messages of her that we sent." Referring to the document in the mailing, Russell stated that Kelly signed it. I'm going to stop right there. I've been telling y'all this shit for 2 years. Everybody called me a mole. Everybody called me a traitor. Everybody said I wasn't for Rob. Everybody said that I didn't know Rob. Anything that they can say to fuck my credibility up, they did. I'm going to say this. After this New York trial, I'm not covering nothing about R. Kelly again. I'm going to need some time to relax. I need to get back to me. Because I feel myself losing it. I feel myself losing it. And when I care for my friends, I care for my fucking friends. I will give my life for my friends. But when you stab me in the back as being a fucking friend, I have no fucking remorse for you. He sat on y'all platforms and told y'all lies. I came in the chat and told y'all he was lying. Put me on the screen with him. Y'all said I was just trying to create a problem. Y'all see the shit. Even with Sylvia and them, I tried to save her. I was a friend to her because I didn't want to agree with the Dr. Rice shit. I'm wrong. So when that come up in the next shit, I don't want nobody saying nothing to me. I told y'all stop donating over there because she ain't doing nothing but keeping the shit. And Nicole got put in some shit because of that. Y'all motherfuckers don't want to listen. Y'all don't want to listen. This is fucking heartbreaking. He lied on Robert, but y'all saying that he is close brother. I'm calling out his shit. And y'all motherfuckers sit back and say, oh, Dana just picking on Don. Where the fuck is Block been at now? Quiet as a fucking mouse. Was the main one. Oh, you picking on Don. I call all you bitches out. Now it's personal. I was just waiting for this. This shit is personal. Even with Deboski, I said, Debo, don't have him on your channel, bro. I ain't even want Deboski in that shit. Thank God he's not in here. It's by the grace of God that Debo is not in here. I'm not taking no calls. It's by the grace of fucking God. I'm not in here to hurt nobody. My whole role coming in here was to break up the Rico. But I couldn't let nobody know that up front. I had to let it play out. There gonna come a day. There gonna come a day. And when y'all wish y'all had me on y'all side. And it's coming soon. Because there's more indictments to come. And after this, I'm not saving nobody else. So whatever indictment you get, you earned it. And when I say that other people are going to jail. That's on YouTube. It's happening. I wasn't saying it for nothing. Let's go in. Threats to Jane Doe number 19. In or about November 8, 2018, Kelly summoned Jane Doe number 19, a former girlfriend of Kelly, whose identity is known to the government, to travel interstate to Chicago, Illinois. Once in Chicago, Kelly made Jane Doe number 19 provide a driver's license to an assistant to photocopy, and sign a non-disclosure agreement. Kelly also told Jane Doe number 19 that she needed to decide which team she was on, Team Kales or the other one. Where y'all think I got Team Kales from? And I told y'all, I will burn that house down that I built on YouTube. Everything I said is right here. Or the other one. And that she had a beautiful family and she did not want to be handled. Or a comment that Jane Doe number 19 construed as a threat. Finally, during that encounter, Kelly had Jane Doe number 19 write a text message to Kelly containing falsehoods. That's a lie. Jane Doe number 19 is Kelly, but it's I can't even think. It's Holly Calhoun. And Holly even said that she never wrote nothing. Oh, robbery of Cook County clerk. On February 2019, following the release of Surviving R. Kelly, the docuseries, the commencement of multiple investigations by law enforcement authorities, the filing of criminal charges earlier that month in Cook County, Illinois, one then member of Kelly's, Russell's statements during these YouTube interviews are admissible at trial because they constitute a portion of the very conduct constituting the ongoing interstate stalking of Jane Doe number 6 and her mother. In addition, it's right here. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. That right there will get Robert 30 years. 30 years. This is interstate stalking that he know nothing about. 30 fucking years he can get for this shit. And look who you see. Russell's statements during these YouTube interviews. All because he said Kelly approved it. And Kelly did it. So let's go here. One then member of Kelly's inner circle who billed himself as Kelly's crisis manager. Oh my motherfucking God. So Greenberg was part of this shit from day one. Who billed himself as Kelly's crisis manager. The crisis manager, Daryl Johnson, told Kelly that he had two people who know a lot and told Kelly to figure out what you can do for them, suggesting these individuals were open to being bribed. Oh my motherfucking God. Oh my motherfucking God. In response, Kelly stated, what you do, man, is writing something on a piece of paper and give me what? I should tip the bailiff? What I should tip? The valet? Like when my uncle come up here and say, Rob, the valet guy, he parked the car over there. I say, so what should I give him? He say, well, $20, $30. I give him $30. So what I'm saying is I don't know what number. Later in the same conversation, the crisis manager told Kelly that he had paid a clerk in Cook County $2,500 to procure a burner telephone for the clerk in order to obtain information about Kelly's legal trouble, stating that's done. You don't know nothing. Kelly responded, exactly. He telling you he don't know nothing. Exactly. A recording of this conversation was recovered pursuant to a judicial authorized search of Kelly's phone. So how the fuck would Kelly even know anything about this? So they must have grabbed Daryl Johnson, and Daryl Johnson must have told him, look at Kelly's phone, and we got a conversation. That's why Greenberg wanted to get the fuck off of here. It wasn't about Nicole. It was about Greenberg association with motherfucking Daryl Johnson. And Daryl Johnson say he got paid from Greenberg and not by Kelly. I told y'all I'll put this shit together. I told y'all I'll put this shit together. And you know what? Now that makes sense. Because when Rob told me to tell everybody, if you got if you got Daryl Johnson number, or if you got his picture, erase the picture and delete the number. Dr. Rogers was the only one that said, I'm not going to delete nothing. I'm grown. Now look at this shit. Now look at this shit. Out of all this, it proves that I had Rob back through and through. Because my name ain't nowhere in this shit. The existence of Kelly's prior criminal case in Cook County, Illinois. And we all know about this. The government seeks to introduce limited evidence regarding the existence of Kelly's prior criminal case in Cook County, Illinois, and an attempt to influence the jury in that case. What? Specifically, in June 2002, Kelly was charged in Cook County, Illinois, with child pornography offenses relating to a videotape of a female engaged in sexual activity. After multiple delays, jury selection began in or about May 2008. In or about May 2008, John Doe number 1 alerted Kelly that he had access to a juror, and Kelly told John Doe number 1 to come to his residence. When John Doe number 1 came to his residence, he advised Kelly in front of Kelly's attorneys about the juror, and Kelly's attorneys advised against contacting the juror. Shortly thereafter, Kelly, outside of the presence of his attorney, specifically requested that John Doe number 1 make contact with the juror to tell the juror that Kelly was a good guy. Get the fuck out of here. Stop. The case ultimately went to trial in June 2008, and Kelly was acquitted on all charges. One juror ain't gonna make that acquittal go. One juror turn it into a hung jury, not an acquittal. Make this make sense. The government seeks to introduce evidence of the existence and general nature of the case. We know about that. Forget all that. Kelly's efforts to obtain child pornography. Jane Doe number 5 is expected to testify that during the course of her relationship with Kelly, Kelly directed her to obtain child pornography involving boys for him. What? At Kelly's direction, Jane Doe number 5 searched the internet for pornography involving younger looking males and screen recorded such pornography for Kelly's use. Jane Doe number 5 believed the pornography that she found on the internet and downloaded for Kelly actually involved individuals who were 18 or older, given the websites on which she found the videos. A judicially authorized search of digital media recovered from Kelly's residence corroborates Jane Doe number 5's account. The following videos were recovered from the device. Image, whatever, twinksbear.com titled Amateur Bareback Twinks Fucking Raw, which shows two young males initially wearing children's underwear and kissing. They then expose their genitalia and perform oral sex on each other and engage in anal sex and masturbation, including on or and against a child's bunk bed during the video. And scrolling graphic on top indicates that the videos was uploaded to www.xvideos.com. The video is approximately 10 minutes long. But wait a minute, let's stop. And appears to have been captured on a screen recording on the device using the app Recgo. What? On May 26, 2019, file information for the video on the device also indicates that the file was created on the device on May 26, 2019. Watch this. Rob don't know how to do that. That's Azriel's sick ass mind. not Rob's. That's Azriel's sick ass mind. And once again, the one that's talking about I'm for Rob is Azriel's moderator on her backup channel. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. The government has been unable to confirm the identity or ages of the individuals appearing in these videos. So how is Rob being held responsible for the shit that Azriel did? Audio recordings of his, matter of fact, that's going to turn into he say, she say. And that's going to get thrown out. Audio recordings of physical abuse and threats. Oh. Finally, the government seeks to introduce excerpts of 2 audio recordings recovered pursuant to a search warrant, both of which show the physical and psychological abuse Kelly employed to maintain control over women and girls with whom he was engaged in sexual relationships, and Kelly's regular use of audio and video recordings to maintain control. Stop right there. You know what? This sounds like that shit that Larry sent over. And if that's the case, the chain of custody was broken. So how the fuck they gonna say they found it through a search warrant and Larry came on there and said he sent it over already? Even if Larry lied, it's already said in a public platform. So therefore you can't use it because chain of custody is broken. One video recording shows 2 women in a room laying in a bed and engaging in casual conversation. At some point in the recording, Kelly enters the room, accuses one of the women of lying, and begins to physically assault the woman. Notably, the video appears to have been taken by a stationary camera mounted somewhere in the room. Wait a minute. Stop. That can't be role play? So what you're telling me is that can't be a role play? Who sets up a camera to put that cell phone tape to really physically abuse somebody? Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And the other recording, Kelly berates, threatens, and physically assaults Jane Doe number 20, a woman whose identity is known to the government, who commenced a sexual relationship with Kelly when she was 18 years old, and who Kelly believes stole from him. Okay. When she was 18 years old. Lisa Van Allen, I thought you was a minor. Make this make sense. How'd she go from a minor to being 18 years old? Make this make sense, Lisa. How you go from 18 to be a minor? Okay, let's go here. There's only one way you're going to get rid of this. For me to trust your ass again. You're going to do the fuck. You're going to do the fuck I tell you to do when you made the fucking tape for me. And I looked at the shit. You was hiding your fucking face all over the Lisa Van Allen. I will be in Florida. I will be in Florida and something will happen to you. You understand what I'm telling you? I don't believe that part, but hey. Didn't I tell y'all that Lisa was walking up Sunset Boulevard and with nothing but a trench coat on? Everything I fucking told y'all is right here. Everything I told y'all is right here. Now you go to that fucking garage. You chill there until you hear from me. Okay. Understand? Okay. Doing recording transcribed and part above, Kelly's overheard physically assaulting Jane Doe number 20, who Kelly claims he raised after he accuses her and she admits stealing from him. Also on a recording, he expressly threatened her that he would be in Florida and something would happen to her if she stole from him again, and commented that people get murdered. Oh, so now they adding shit because that wasn't in, but that's not on here. That's not on here that people who get murdered. What was on here is understand what I'm telling you. So where that murder part come from? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's bullshit. Don't add no fluff. Who Kelly claims he raised, okay. Also on a recording, he expressly threatened her that he would be in Florida. Okay. At best, that's terroristic threats. If she's but it's terroristic threats. At best, that's 2 years probation. That's a misdemeanor. Or it could be a felony. But back then, it wasn't serious. Argument. The government moves in limine for the omission of evidence pertaining to the acts set forth above. First, the evidence of these acts is admissible as direct evidence of the charged racketeering offense. Second, evidence of many of these other acts is directly relevant to and inextricably intertwined with the evidence of the charged crimes and alternative evidence. Okay. Man, look, I don't even want to. All this is case law. All this case law. So what they trying to do is show a pattern, a RICO pattern, but that he's a menace to society, which we all know he's not. Then they say continuity established where a corrupt attorney's bribery of a public official and money laundering spanning approximately 4 months was part of a long-term drug enterprise that engaged in. So they're trying to link him like that. That's how they're trying to link him. But look, it's 12:40. I stopped on page 31. I still got 52 pages left. So I'm going to pick up tomorrow on page 31. I'm going to let y'all get some sleep. But tomorrow, we're going to pick up early on page 31. So I'm going to start at the top of page 31. And that's where we're going to pick up from. Look, man, I'm pissed. I'm emotionally drained. I'm physically drained. I come back and do 31 to 52, which is 21 pages. And we're going to knock that out. Also, I want to let y'all know. That I do have the defense reply. I'm going to knock that out tomorrow. I'm also going to show the witnesses that the government is calling forth, as well as the reporters report to Ann Donnelly. So trust me, and we all did tomorrow, starting at 11:30 a.m. until we finish. All right. Thank y'all for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until we finish. So I got 21 pages of this motion. I got the defense and reply. I have the witness, this is called, and I have the broadcaster's letter to Ann Donnelly. And then on Monday, because I'm going to give y'all Sunday to rest, on Monday, I'm going to come back with the overall lemonade, which is 84 pages. So I'll be there 11:30 tomorrow morning, and we're going to rock this out. All right? Y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for everything. That's all I can say. Y'all be blessed, man. I'm gone. I don't know what else to say. I'm gone. Away from the door, what you